This is the South Pacific Adventist News. Hello, I'm David Gibbons. In the lead up to the Australian federal elections, John Howard and Kevin Rudd are both keen to talk with Christians. According to the recent census, there are 5 million Australians who regularly attend a Christian church. Seventh-day Adventists were present when 200 church leaders gathered at the National Press Club in Canberra. From this venue, the two leaders both spoke to more than 100,000 Christians across the nation via a video hookup over the internet. The function was organised by the Australian Christian Lobby, who do not take sides in politics. Adventists are currently talking with the heads of both parties, seeking tax deductibility for offerings and gifts to churches. Tax deductibility is given for similar gifts to churches in the US, Canada and the United Kingdom. Cuban-born Jaime Jorge is currently on a sacred and classical concert tour of Australia. Jorge is an Adventist and is passionate about his violin music and his ministry. Jorge fled Cuba with his parents at the age of 10 and lived in the United States.
So I have very vivid memories of what it was like in Cuba for me and what it was like to be able to leave and be infused with this hope.
Now that he has returned to Cuba, he wants the rest of the world to know about the human need which exists there. Jorge has released 10 albums which have been sold to millions of fans around the world. All proceeds from the sale of his albums go to support his ministry activities in Cuba. This month, a New Zealand-born female leader of the Adventist Church in the South Pacific will become an Adventist International Woman of the Year. Joy Butler will be one of the 6 women to receive the award. Joy has worked as a missionary in Papua New Guinea, Samoa and Zimbabwe. She then came to Australia, where she worked as a chaplain at the Sydney Adventist Hospital. Recently, Joy has been the prayer ministry coordinator as well as the director of women's ministries for the Adventist Church across the South Pacific.
I'm passionate about women's issues, especially those who have been abused and hurt and put down in some way or other, and the many sex slaves that are in the world. I want to make some small difference somewhere.
Joy Butler returns to Africa with her husband Bob in January 2008 to undertake more missionary work. The Adventist-owned and operated Sanitarium Health Food Company is going pink in October to support the National Breast Cancer Foundation. So Good, the top-selling soy milk, and the cereal Light and Tasty will support the Pink Ribbon campaign. In addition to going pink, Sanitarium will contribute $100,000 to the foundation, taking Sanitarium's total contribution to $400,000. Sanitarium is the major sponsor of the Pink Ribbon breakfasts, donating So Good and Light and Tasty to the 5,000 goodie kits that will be distributed to volunteer breakfast hosts. Every year in Australia, 13,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer. 2,600 of them tragically lose their lives to the disease, making it the most common cancer among women. Sanitarium has been providing healthy food choices for 109 years. The Adventist Church's evangelistic magazine, Signs of the Times, was runner-up for the best religious website for 2007. The New Zealand Roman Catholic Church won, but the Signs website received a high commendation. First impressions of the websites are critical to attract and then hold the viewer. The highly commended Signs site had a busier front window than the winner, but still loaded quickly. Judges said that the content had a good range of topic and appeal. They liked the lead article being available as a downloadable podcast as well. And finally, in this week's edition of The Colour Record, the popular Play Today series continues to grow with the launch of a 3rd book of easy-to-play hymns and praises, this time with a CD. And the Regional Administrative Office for the Churches in South New Zealand moves into its new home near Christchurch Airport, its 8th relocation in its 92-year history. That's the news. See you next week. I'm David Gibbons.